Hello students, welcome to Social Science class. Today let us start History Chapter 2 Geographical Features and Prehistoric India. In this lesson you have to learn about the physical features of India. India is both a subcontinent and peninsula. Recognize the neighboring countries of India, the living style of man in prehistoric period, the Stone Age. These are the topics you have to learn in this lesson. Now let us start the lesson. Every country and the people in the world, they all are influenced by the geographical environment, and there is an intimate relation between human life and the environment. And because of this only, it is necessary to learn about the geographical environment to know about the human history. And you all know that India is a subcontinent. It is occupying a huge area in the southern part of the Asian continent. India is in the Asian continent and it occupies the southern part of the Asian continent. And you all know that India is surrounded by water on three sides and land on one side, and because of this reason only it is a peninsula. And India shares its boundaries with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. And in this map you can see that neighboring countries. And it consists of 29 states and 6 union territories and one national capital, that is Delhi. And India's geographical features comprise the Himalayan mountains, the Indo-Gangetic plain in the north side, the Deccan Plateau and the coastal regions are in the south side, and the snow-capped mountains in the north included some of the tallest mountain peaks in the world. The Himalayan ranges, it is including the tallest mountain peaks in the world, and these mountains help us to preserve the safety and security of India. And there have been very few instructions on ancient Indian from the northern Himalayan regions, and the attack have been mainly from northwestern side through the valleys of Polan and Khyber Pass. These are all checked by the Himalayan mountains, and the flat Indo-Gangetic plains are extremely fertile region. It's Indo-Gangetic plain, the north side of India, and it is very fertile. The ancient civilization of Indus Valley and Vedic period all started in this region. Many battles have been fought from time to time to establish control over this area, and many battles have been fought because to control this northern region. Why means northern region is very fertile, and the dynasties are established control over this fertile Gangetic plain, also established their empires also. The Narmada river separates India into two. See in the map you can see Narmada river, that blue color line you can see, that is Narmada river. It is separating India into two parts. The two parts are Malwa Plateau or Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau in the south. In this map you can see Narmada rivers dividing India into two parts, that is central. First one is Central Highlands in the north side and Deccan Highlands, that is in the southern part. Okay. In olden time, the Mauryas and the Guptas ruled these two areas. The Indian coastal line is vast and stretches over 6,100 kilometers. Coastal region means seashore region. East side and west side you can see the coastal region. The eastern coastal line is called Coromandel Coast. This is eastern coastal region, Coromandel Coast. And whereas the western coastal line is referred as a Konkan and Malabar coast. Here western coastal line is this area is known as Konkan or Malabar coast. Next, we have to learn about the prehistoric period. What is a prehistoric period? The period before the discovery of the art of writing is called as prehistoric age. And this is so because we do not find any evidence of the linguistic development or the use of script. In that time, they did not use any script. So, we are not having any evidence. Written evidence are not there. So, it is known as prehistoric period. We do not get any written records for the study of the history of this period. Then how do we get the know about the people and their life in the prehistoric age? Now let us see how. The scholars who studying this period are called archaeologists, and these archaeologists, the people who are studying about the prehistoric age, they are known as archaeologists. In this age, man was a nomad and indulged in hunting and food gathering. Archaeologists have discovered few tools created and used by these people. Through these tools and all, the archaeologists are getting some evidence. Probably they used these tools made of stone, wood and bones. Among these, only tools made of stone have survived today. Providing us the source of study, human beings in prehistoric age used stone tools to peel the skin and separate the flesh and bones of animals, to scrape the bark of trees, and to cut fruits and roots. For this purpose, the prehistoric people used the tools. Stone tools they used, and wooden tools they used, and bones also they used, but only tools made of stone have survived today. And in that time, the people used to create handles out of bones and wood, and using them like spears and arrows to hunt the animals. They used stones as axes to chop down the trees and cut them into the logs. And they might have used wood to build huts for themselves, and or to make handles for their weapons. And the word prehistoric period provides this sort of information to us. And next we have to discuss about where did the prehistoric man live. Some remains of the hunting and food gathering humans are available in Bhimbetka, Hunzagi and Kurnool in India. And from these areas we are getting some evidence about the prehistoric man. There are many other sites in which such relics have been found. Most of these sites have been discovered along the banks of the river and the lakes. Most of the information we got about the prehistoric man remains and the tools and we discovered from the banks of the river and the lakes. Since stone tools were essential for the survival of people of that age, they chose areas abundant with stone which could fulfill their needs. And these prehistoric people selected the area where more stones are available to make the tools and all. Like that areas and all they lived. Areas where people used stones to create various tools have been thought to be the first industrial site of the human beings. Like these areas are known as the first industrial site of human beings. How do we get to know about such industrial sites? Usually we get to see stone tools around rocky areas. People might have rejected some rocks as unsuitable for their tools. Heaps of broken rocks or stone chips obtained during the creation of implements abound in such areas. In these areas and we can see heap of broken rocks will be there, and some rejected rocks are unsuitable for their tools. Like this areas and all we can through this information and all we can understand that these regions are the industrial sites of human being, the first industrial sites of human beings. It is possible that people lived for a long time in these places, and these sites are called residential and industrial sites. Like these sites we can call it as a residential and industrial sites. I hope you all are understood these 2-3 topics, and next class will continue the other topics. Thank you, students.